Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. The time is now 7:10 p.m. on December 8th, 2021. I am calling this meeting of the Nomination Committee to order. My name is Fred Baptiste, Chair of Community Board 9. I will be serving as the ad hoc chair for this meeting. One of the items for this meeting will be for the committee to actually select a chair who will conduct the rest of the process. I want to again thank all the members who are here. This is a special purpose committee with the sole responsibility of conducting the nominations process and getting us to the election process, which will occur. We sent out some materials previously to the committee. Dante, could I ask, would you be able to bring up the election guide? Okay, good. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. So this document is actually broken into 3 pieces. The first one is the process for the nomination and election of officers. What this piece tries to do is outline specifically the process that is prescribed by our bylaws. So you'll see that the nomination for the election of officers, the process of the nomination and election of officers is in the bylaws, specifically in Article 6, Section 6.1 and 6.2. Article 5 has a section with regards to qualifications. The qualification being that you have to be a member of the board for a particular amount of time. And then a particular interest this evening is going to be Section 6.3, which actually talks about filling the vacancies. So as you can see, it says there's 7 positions that we have on the board, officers of the board. The board officers are selected from the appointed members of the board and serve a term of 1 year, commencing on July 1st until a qualified successor is elected. So a qualified successor should be a member of the board who has served at least 1 full year on the board and is in compliance with Article 5. So where this is going to be important is if anyone just joined the board as of this spring, they would be ineligible. They would not be eligible to run for the vacant executive secretary position. So when we do the canvass, if there are any candidates or any members of the board who are not eligible, we're going to run that through the district office and we'll advise at that time whether they are eligible to run or not. So at this time, it's just going to be a general canvass. We'll identify who's interested and we'll determine eligibility after that shortly. Okay. Dante, can you go down a little bit? So the nomination committee timelines. What you'll notice, so the most important thing to understand about this is that our nomination process is basically in 3 steps. The first month starts with the selection of the nomination committee. So in November, you were all appointed to the nomination committee, or this month, I should say, you were not appointed to the nomination committee satisfying that requirement. The next step would be that the nomination committee would meet. It would select a chairperson from its membership. And at that point, it would do a canvass of the community board to see who are interested candidates for any of the positions that are open. In this instance, because there's only 1 vacancy, we're just going to be doing canvass for the 1 position of executive secretary. The executive secretary, once we elect them, is just going to be filling the unexpired term, the rest of the unexpired term. So they'll be serving from whenever we have elections to June. In June, we are going to have another set of elections for a new slate of officers whose term will start in July. Okay, so basically this person will be serving for about 3 to 4 months. Okay, so this month, what we're going to be doing, and we're going to do this very expeditiously, is we're going to conduct a canvass. We're going to identify those members of the board who wish to run. We'll make that announcement at the general board meeting, which is scheduled next week. At that time, we'll also open the floor. So if anybody who did not respond to the email or phone calls decides they want to run at that time, they can still nominate themselves at that time. Once that happens, then we go into the 3rd month, which will be in January, prospectively. And in January, we actually conduct the elections. Now, the way this process spells out is that it's supposed to be an in-person meeting and a paper ballot. So one of the things I think hopefully did we send it? Oh, wow. Dante, did we send out anything yet about the amendment?
I do not think so now.
Okay. One of the things that we will be sending out very shortly is a draft, an amendment for the bylaws. Because our bylaws say that it has to be in person, we need to draft an amendment to the bylaws. It's going to be a one-shot deal, which is going to say that we are allowing electronic meeting for this month in particular, and we are going to allow electronic voting. So that amendment will be in effect for this 1 month only, for the month of January. Once that election is completed, the bylaws revert to the old bylaws until we change those. Okay. Well, let me stop right there. Are there any questions at this point? Okay, sounds good. All right. So after that, so when we get to the board meeting, when we actually have the elections, we're going to announce who all the candidates are. The prospective candidate is usually allowed a minute or two to just discuss their qualifications before the board and public. So that'll be something that'll be done there. And then once they've done that, then we open the voting. So as we're looking at electronic voting, what we are most likely going to do, I believe the district office has already prepared an electronic ballot. I think everyone's done it. We all did it last year, correct? Everybody voted last year electronically? Okay, same process. What's going to happen is a link is going to go out to all the members of the board, at which time we'll leave the link open. Members will have an opportunity to select their choice. It comes back, the district office is going to identify which member received the most votes. One important note to make is that officers have to be elected by majority vote of all the members, president voting. So it's not just a matter of there's only one person on the ballot, they have to get at least half the votes or the majority of the votes. So if for some reason there is a write-in candidate or a number of write-in candidates that prevent a majority, then we have to still do a runoff. Okay, but the district office is pretty quick with that. So if there, in the event of a runoff has to be done, top two candidates would go on. We would reset the link. It would go out to the board members again, and then we would keep going until we actually have a winner. All right. So the next thing you see the tasks, roles, and responsibilities. I think we've largely covered this in terms of, so the nominations already happened. The main responsibility of the nomination committee is going to be electing the chairperson, which will be the next step, and the outreach. And we'll discuss the outreach in a moment, and then actually conducting that election in January, which will be the third month for us. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Actually, you can keep going a little bit more. Right. So, and as we said before, so this document actually breaks out the normal process that happens in April, going through June, and this quick paragraph and this chart just outlines the process, to fill the vacancy. And again, three-step process. We just largely went through most of this. Okay, and go to the next step, next page. And you can continue, yeah. Next one.
Is that
okay? Good.
Is this what you want?
I think this is it. Yes. Yeah, this is what it is. Okay, so to give you a historical perspective, what we used to do as practice in the board was that the nomination committee would actually physically call every member of the board at least twice to identify whether they were interested in running. But that's not something that's specifically prescribed by the bylaws. So to make everyone's life easier, what we've done is, I think over the last couple of elections, we developed a draft email that will go out to the board advising anyone who's interested in the in running for any of the positions would identify themselves, just say, yes, I'm interested in running, or I believe that they would have, well, actually, I think for this solicitation, it's just anyone who wants to run can self-nominate. All they have to do is just respond, and then the committee will have those names and they'll present those names at the next meeting. So what happens is we'll set, the expectation is the committee would set a deadline probably, as this is not going to go out until Friday, either next week, Monday or Tuesday, where we'll expect all the board members to respond. Anyone who has not responded, either yes or no, that's where the committee would actually do phone calls. So it would really be a matter of, I believe we have 40, is it 43 or 44 members right now, Dante?
43.
Yeah, we have 43 members currently. So the idea is we're going to make sure we push, and once it goes out, we'll make sure that we try and get members to respond to the email, because it makes life way easier. And then all that will happen is you'll just record the responses, who's willing to run, who's not going to run. And at that time, if no one has responded, you can just split up amongst the committee who's left in terms of, in terms of making phone calls. The nominations committee will be provided a list of the contacts for the board. So I would just say 1 or 2 phone contacts. Just confirm that you did 1 or 2 phone contacts, and otherwise that completes the canvas. Anyone who has not responded at that point will have an opportunity to say that they wish to be nominated or be nominated by a member of the board at the board meeting next week. All right. So yeah, so we outlined this. So obviously this is just the draft for the solicitation. We'll modify it so that way it's only for the executive secretary position, and it's just a matter of selecting the days that you want the deadlines to be for. Okay. Any questions? Right. Sounds great. Okay. Just for the record, so we're going to record. So the nomination committee consists of Rosemary Evering, Nicholas Almanor, Dexter Roberts, Linda Watson Lord, and Mina Lagut. I currently have present Ms. Evering, Mr. Almanor, and Ms. Lagut. And just so just for the record, is there any other members of the nomination committee that are here presently? Okay, seeing none, we do have a quorum of the committee. At this time, the next item would be to select a chairperson for the nomination committee. Is anyone interested? This is one of those where everyone else steps back.
Somebody.
Who do you nominate?
I like to nominate Mina.
Mina, you've been nominated. Do you accept?
I'm sorry, I can't accept. I'm about to go into a really busy time with family.
Understood. Understood. So hold on. Mina nominated, declined. I'm just taking the notes. Do I have any other nominations? And mind you, remember, this is only for chairperson of this committee. So really, we'll just need you for a few days. Well, not even for a few days.
What would I have to do?
To chair the nominations committee.
And what does that consist of?
Ultimately, you're just going to be reporting out. At this point, it's just going to be reporting out. So when we call for the nominations committee report at the general board, you're just going to identify the process that you did, the fact that we met on this date. We'll give you the dates. This date, if there's another phone call or another date, we'll record that as well. You record the fact that the outreach went out. These are your sponsors, and these are the people who wish to actually run. And actually, we have a template for that. So I do have the nominations committee report from last year. So cut and paste. It'll be cut and paste, very simple, straightforward report.
I like cut and paste. I could do that. I accept the nomination from Nicholas.
Okay, so nomination accepted. Okay, are there is there anyone else who wishes to run? Okay, call for a second time. Is there anyone who wishes to run for chairperson of the nomination committee? And I call for a third time. Is there anyone who wishes to run for the nomination committee? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the nominations. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
I
So,
second the motion.
Okay, closed by Almanor.
after 3 times, the nominations are closed.
And seconded by Legut. Okay. All right, so we have the vote to close. Are there any, is there any, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any in opposition, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, so the vote to close, unanimous. Okay, next step is to direct the secretary to cast one unanimous ballot in the name of Minor Legut for chair. Do I have that motion?
Yes.
So
Okay,
moved.
moved by Minor Legut. Oh, okay. Actually, I thought I heard the lady first, so
Mhm.
Minor Legut gets it. Nicholas, you can get first runner-up.
I get second.
You seconded the motion. Okay. All right, so moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? And any abstentions?
No,
Oh, you abstained? Rosemary, you abstained?
no.
Oh, okay.
I agree. No, I agree. You said
Okay.
any exception, I said no.
No problem. So it's unanimous. So Mina, you are now the chair. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, all right. So with regards to next steps, so Mina, I'm going to relinquish the chair. You now have the chair of the meeting. So you are now in charge. For the last item, if I may, I'll just put this out and you can chair the meeting from here. So with respect to action items, so the next action items would be to actually send out this outreach to the board. This is going to be most of your work. If
Yeah.
we can just agree on the dates when this goes out, we get the responses, the board office will actually take care of that. That should hopefully decrease the amount of work you need to do. So let me see. Tomorrow is the 9th. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Nine.
What's
good night.
tomorrow's date? Tomorrow's the 9th.
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to go to next week, Monday? With, so we would change it, so. Yeah, so we would eliminate the language on the solicitation, so I was just gonna say executive secretary. We're going to say you're interested, please reply to this email by so Monday, close of business? Does that work?
Of course, yes, for me, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at the latest, 4 o'clock before the executive,
The
I'm sorry, say it
executive.
again?
or by 4 PM on Tuesday before the executive committee meeting.
Right. Well, here's the thing. The committee's work is not dependent, so it doesn't necessarily need to report to the exec. As long as you have your report ready by the time the board meeting, the general board meeting happens on the 16th. So you have a couple of days to play.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's just a matter of, by closing it on Monday, it gives you Tuesday and Wednesday to do phone calls if you need it,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
yes,
Mhm.
it
Okay.
So
does.
we,
All right.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
So
what's
we'll
that?
so-
have that out so it would be, they have to reply by Monday, the 13th,
Correct.
and then, yes, and then the board meeting is the, what? The
This is
Wednesday,
the
right?
16th, the Thursday. The Thursday.
Yeah, okay, Thursday, oh, yes, the Thursday,
Right. Okay. So that gives you the 2 days to make any phone calls
of
if you need
course,
to.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 5 p.m. on Monday. Dante.
Yep.
So what we'll need is actually, maybe we should make it a little bit earlier. Say if we do it by 3 p.m. If we do it by 3 p.m., would Khalid and Mia be able to compile the list for the committee? Who's left?
3 p.m. on Tuesday, right?
Monday,
I was thinking
Monday.
3 p.m. on Monday.
Oh, on Monday. Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be fine. 3 p.m. should be fine.
Okay, so 3 p.m. on Monday. So the committee should be able to get a list of who's left. And at that point, it's just a matter of, so mine as, and you can do this offline, just coordinate with the committee in terms of who's making which phone calls. You'll split up a list,
Okay,
okay? And we'll make sure we get you that information.
thank you.
Okay,
All right. So yeah,
Hi,
Tuesday,
sorry to be
Wednesday,
late.
the phone call. Oh, Linda, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I was on my way home, so I said, let me get in before I get there. I don't want to be much later. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. So listen, I can talk you through. Well, let me ask this: did you have any questions? Because we walked through that document we sent for the nominations guide. Did you have any questions? Yeah, I think Linda's in transit, so if anything, I'll touch base. We'll touch base with her after that. So we're gonna have the.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred.
Yeah,
I was
so-
muted. I said, I don't have questions yet. I've read it all. So we will go
Okay.
through. Theoretically, I know it. Practically, we learn it.
Very good, very good. So yeah, so we were just saying, so all we're doing is we're looking at the last page, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's the solicitation draft is just gonna go out to the entire board. Hopefully we can get everybody to just respond to the email. If they respond to the email, great, if they want to run or not. The only
Right.
thing that the the committee would have to do is anybody who did not respond,
then,
we'll just make sure that, we just follow up with phone calls to find out if they're interested in running. So
Cool.
we're gonna cut it off at 3 p.m. on Monday for the emails.
Mhm.
After that, the committee will get a list of all the names and you just
Mhm.
break it up in terms of who's making whatever phone calls and you report back by email.
Good. Understood.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, nomination will be following up for who has not responded as of 3 p.m. Yes. Okay, fine. At the January, and the language will just read at the at the December general board meeting, the committee will report to the board all those members who declared their candidacy. At that time, open for self-nominations acceptable. Seconds are not required. No nominations will be taken from the floor and we'll just change that to the January election. Because that would
Okay.
when the election would actually happen.
Okay.
All right. Otherwise, I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay. And what we will do as well, I'll send a copy of the template of the nomination committee report. So Mina, you'll have that, and we'll just make sure we plug it in for whatever we need.
Okay.
All right. And just going back, so what we were saying is one of the things that you will see at the exec meeting and at the general board meeting is that we're going to be putting out language for an amendment to go out, an amendment to the bylaws. So that way we can actually have an electronic a Zoom meeting, a Zoom general board meeting, and electronic I'm sorry, can't talk today.
election.
And electronic voting. Okay, so that language will be coming out shortly as well. All right.
Okay.
I think that is all for now. So yeah, so as I said, so you guys can communicate via email, that's fine. You'll just put your report out at the general board meeting. It may be helpful to have a quick call after that, but I think that once we've actually solidified who's running, who's on the ballot, and the district office is going to set up the ballot, the actual voting mechanism, it should go be pretty straightforward in January.
Yes. I'm sure it will.
All right, so Madam Chair, that is all I have. I relinquish it back to you. If there's any questions or anything that you want to settle with your committee.
No questions for me. Move to end the meeting if no one else has any questions.
Fair enough. And then we'll communicate via email.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Give us a list of the people in call and we'll
Thank you, Madam Chair.
report back to you before your announcement.
I'm sorry, Nicholas,
sorry, I
what was
didn't
that?
I didn't hear that.
Which part each of us gonna call back based on the non-answers, and then we'll report back to you for you to make the announcement at the meeting.
Okay.
Exactly.
thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll get that list of the people are, who did not respond via email, and then we'll do what we have to
Exactly.
do. All
Exactly.
right.
Right. For this meeting, I
Okay.
took the minutes, so I'll
Thank
make sure that
you.
you'll have the minutes for this meeting, so that those will be recorded. I'll submit for you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Madam Chair.
you
So
can
looking
adjourn the
forward
meeting.
to-
So 7:36.
7:36, call to adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Thank you. Moved by Rosemary Evering. Is there a second?
Yes.
Yes,
Seconded by Linda Watson Ward.
thank you, yes.
Okay, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you all. Good
All
night.
right.
See you.
Thanks.
all
Everyone
sometime.
have
Good
a
night,
good
everyone,
night.
and thank you for your
Thank-
service.
Dante,
Good night,
good night.
everybody.
Good
Have a
night,
nice
everyone.
night.
Good night. You
Good night,
too.
everyone.
Bye-bye.